This is the Advisor desktop. We are now looking at the home page. This is the first page you will see when you log in. Here, an advisor can view all his alerts relating to his clients. For example, this alert is a to-do reminding an advisor of a client meeting due tomorrow. This other alert shows me the compliance task that is due soon. I can click into these alerts to bring me straight to the task. The color of each alert denotes the urgency of the task. Gray is upcoming, orange is due soon, and red is overdue. On the bottom is a record advice log. I can drill down on each day to view all record advice given on that day. I can also drill down further to view the details of the record of advice. The record of advice can be automatically fed in via a feed from an execution platform like Iris or manually recorded using a button here. Most m2Advisor settings can be done in these other tabs, and is only available to users with admin access.
This is the client view. A client list is displayed on the left-hand side. It only shows the clients that an advisor has permission to see. These permissions are set by an administrator. You can easily search for a client name or ID here. Once you have selected a client, the client details will be displayed in the right-hand panel. Here you can view the client's name, ID, and other key information. Some of these drop-down lists can be customized. You can add multiple contacts under each client. In the bottom section of the screen, an advisor can write a short note about the client, give the client access to view their portfolio online, view client bank account details, client data feeds, client accounts, and fee information. An advisor can create reminders relating to a client here and see what compliance tasks are due for this client here. Each client or contact can be tagged. For example, an advisor may want to tag a client as ultra high net worth for marketing purposes. Reports can then be generated based on these tags. An advisor can also group multiple clients together. For example, these two portfolios belong to a single family and are linked under a family group. The family group view combines the details of both portfolios so that an advisor and client can see an holistic view of their family investments.
This is the Actions view. This is where you store all the communication you had with the client. This includes emails, phone calls, mails, meetings, and etc. You can also filter the contact events to include compliance events here. There are 4 ways to record a contact event. First, you can use the Add Contact Event button and fill in the comments, date, time, method, and advisor name on the bottom panel here. Second, you can drag and drop emails directly from Outlook into m2Advisor. You can access those emails again by clicking on the green arrow button. Third, Record of Advice, which is a part of the compliance events, are also logged in this view. Record of Advice can be added using the Record Advice button here, or via an execution platform feed. Fourth, other compliance events like dispatching of an SOA that are recorded in the compliance module are also logged here. This is the library view. It is a repository of all your documents. You can save documents relating to a client, an asset, and general documents relating to your firm. You can easily search for documents using the filters here. Tags can be applied to documents, so it can be easily identified and searched in the future. Audit logs are also kept for each document for compliance purposes. You can save a document by dragging and dropping the document from your desktop into m2Advisor window or use this plus button here.
This is the compliance page. Here, You can create KYC forms, generate SOA documents, and keep track of all upcoming compliance tasks for a client. On the top right, it shows the client's KYC information. For example, here you can see the client's investment profile, insurance policy, and etc. I can add or update the client's KYC information by selecting the Update button here. These KYC tables are fully customizable. The table highlighted in green are the mandates. Mandates are preset asset types that an advisor is allowed to manage in the client's portfolio. If the client portfolio has an asset outside of the mandate, an alert will be created to notify the advisor. On the top left, it shows the upcoming and overdue compliance tasks. For example, this client has a sophisticated investor certificate that is 11 days overdue. This creates an alert on the home screen for the advisor and the compliance manager. To complete this task, I can drag and drop the sophisticated certificate document into the m2Advisor window to save the document in our library system. I will first specify that this document is for this client, and next, the system is smart enough to know that this client has a compliance task outstanding and is expecting a sophisticated certificate document here. I can select it to indicate that this document is part of a compliance milestone task. Now, the compliance task is completed and updated to the next due date. This action is logged in the Events Log section, and the document is saved in the Client Library section. Compliance tasks can be customized and set up as a workflow. For example, this is a new client. I will add a new client application milestone task. You can see that this milestone includes a list of tasks. For example, sending a welcome pack, receipt KYC form, and etc. All these tasks in this milestone must be completed before this milestone is closed off. Next, I will show you how to generate a Statement of Advice SOA document. Under the Doc Create tab, you can see a list of templates on the bottom left panel. These templates are set up using a Word document, and it is similar to a mail merge template document. Just select the SOA template you want to use and click Create Document. In my SOA template, I have preset conditions where it will always ask me which options I would like to include in my SOA. I can also choose to have KYC and portfolio information for this client auto-populated in the document. Once the SOA is generated, I can choose to send it now or later. I will select later because I want to review the SOA document first. I can go to the Doc Dispatch tab to view the recently generated SOA. I can make the changes to the document manually and save the changes made. When I'm happy with the document, I can add it to the dispatch list on the bottom pane. I can also attach other documents along with the SOA from the General or Client section of the library system. Once completed, I can select the method of how the SOA is being sent, so you can create an event record for audit purposes. When I choose the email method, my Outlook will pop up with the following documents. I can also tag this action to a milestone task. This automatically creates an event log and updates the task as being completed. Once I've sent the email, I can save that email into m2Advisor Actions tab to record the actual email being sent to the client. Generating a record of advice, ROA, is similar to generating a SOA. In the Doc Create tab, I will need to select a ROA template and an advice event. The advice event lists all advice that requires an SOA. For example, I'll create an advice manually now by clicking on the Record Advice button here. I will need to select the method of advice, the advice given, the reason for the advice, and the stock associated with the advice. I will then select SOA required here, because this advice requires an ROA document to be sent to the client. I can also create additional information at the bottom here if required. Now, this advice will appear on the advice event list. I will select the ROA template and this advice to generate the ROA document. Here, you can see that the ROA document will include all the details of the advice. The process of sending out the ROA will be the same as an SOA.
This is the holdings page. Here you can see portfolio valuations as at the end of the previous day. The left-hand side of the panel shows asset values in their original purchase currency, while on the right-hand side, highlighted in darker blue, you can see the valuations converted into a single currency. You can change the valuation currency by changing the selection in this drop-down list here. The plus icon displayed next to some assets indicates that this asset is either held across multiple accounts. Clicking on this icon will enable you to drill down and view more details. An advisor can also see the details of each underlying transaction by double-clicking here. You can filter the holding information by date, type, currency, and account using the filters in this lower panel. Here, you can also customize how the assets in your portfolio are grouped. Another powerful feature of the m2Advisor portfolio system is the ability to calculate a position summary for any given date. Entering the required date here and refreshing the holdings page will, in just a few seconds, recalculate the portfolio values as at that point in time.
This is the movement page. The movements page shows the transactions of all accounts. You can fill the transactions by date, account, currency, assets, and movement types. M2 Corporate Actions Specialist team also updates corporate actions like consolidation, spin-offs, placements, code change adjustments for all your clients' assets to ensure that your client's portfolio always reflects the correct value without you needing to do anything. These corporate action adjustments are also shown in the movement page, so you can easily track the adjustments being made. You can double-click on a transaction to view its details, and right-click on a transaction to update the historical cost base of a transferred-in asset or to enrich movement type. You can also toggle to a cash statement view to see the running cash balance amount. Note an account and currency must be selected for this view.
This is the income page. The income page shows all income entitled as well as received. Entitled income is when a dividend has been announced but not yet been paid, while a received income is when a dividend has been paid and received in the client's bank account. An advisor can easily monitor the shortfall in income payments by toggling between the entitled and received views. You can also filter the income by date, account, currency, group, and asset. If you are an Australian client, you can select the Australia Tax and Income view to see the imputation credits amount and franking percentage for each dividend.
This is the portfolio performance page. It shows the capital flows, return components, and return percentages of a client's portfolio. The capital flows section shows the contributions and withdrawals made by an investor into and out of a portfolio. Selecting this radio button here allows the user to see the details that make up these figures. The total of the movements displayed here will match the figures displayed in the summary above. The return component section shows the total returns of a portfolio subdivided into interest, dividends, realized P&L, unrealized P&L, and FX movements. Selecting this Return Component radio button will display return information at an asset level in this section here. More detailed asset level return information can be viewed by double-clicking on an individual asset, and a further breakdown can be viewed by double-clicking on a return component subcategory for that asset. The return percentages are calculated using the modified Diet method. This method calculates time-weighted returns using performance and capital flow information. Details on how values are calculated can be found by hovering over this information icon. Selecting a benchmark rate here allows the portfolio returns for the period to be compared against the chosen benchmark. It is important to note that all of the gain, loss, and performance figures shown here are calculated using the market prices as at the selected start date in the filters and not purchase prices. This analysis should not be confused with actual gains and losses using actual purchase prices.
This is the report page. It is where you can generate all your reports. There are 3 report types. First, client reports, where you can generate portfolio reports for a client. For example, a realized gains and losses report on a client's portfolio. Second, advisor reports, where you can generate reports for all clients by advisor. For example, the cash balances report shows all cash held by each client per advisor. Third, management report, where you can generate the firm-wide reports. For example, the asset under management report shows all assets held by every client in your firm. To generate a report, simply click on the report you would like to generate, confirm the filters below, and click Build Report Now. You can save the report in PDF or in Excel format. You can also generate a report package where you can preset a list of individual reports and group them together as a package. A report package can be set specifically for a client or for an entire firm. For example, I've created a quarterly report package that is available company-wide. Here, you can see that the report package includes the cover page, the content page, and various other client reports. The cover page and the trailing page are customizable. I can then select the date range on the bottom panel and click Build Package Now to generate my report package. Reports can also be generated directly in the individual client screen using the Report button on the bottom here.